Hey everyone, welcome back to Move Over Martha. I just wanted to share with you a quick little project that I did last night. I have recently lost about 56 pounds and I was looking for a little inspiration. So I found this little picture online. I think it was like Pinterest or something like that. And I thought, wow, that would be so cute if that was hanging on your pantry door. Like every time you went in to get a snack, you could be like reminded, you know, how it could be empty calories or whatnot. So I decided to do this little decoupaged picture. I have an 8x8 canvas and I painted it like a teal color. And it has, I mixed the teal with like a white so it would be a lighter shade because I only had a dark one. And I printed out my picture, I think like a 7.5 by 7.5, something like that. And I just printed it on regular paper, not photo paper or anything like that because that's too thick, just regular printer paper, and I decoupaged it onto the canvas. So I painted the canvas, I let it dry, and then here's the key. I've done decoupage on things before, and when I use like the printer paper, a lot of times when I go to put the top coat on, it bleeds and it turns into like this hot mess. Like the paint, the decoupage takes like the ink off of the paper and it mixes with it and it gets all muddy and the picture gets distorted. So I tried a different technique this time that I wanted to share with you in case any of you guys have issues with decoupaging yourself. But this is a canvas and it has like a hole in the back. So what I first off did was I just cut a piece of like foam to the size of that square underneath and stuck it in there. So when I was pressing on the top of this, it wasn't caving in because it was hollow inside. So that was the first thing, getting a steady surface to work on. Next was painting my canvas and letting it dry completely. And then after that, I took the paper that I printed this on and I just took like newspaper or scratch paper, probably scratch paper so that it doesn't have like the dye from the newspaper, just like plain white paper. I laid it face down and put a very thin coat on the paper itself because I did it a couple times where I put it on the canvas and then when I laid the picture on the canvas, I had too much of the decoupage, so it was kind of like puddled in areas, and then the picture started getting like rippled. I know a lot of people print their images on tissue paper so that it's real thin and it adheres real good, but I like to just use the printer paper because it's not a hassle. You don't have to like double stick tape it to the regular paper to print it out. So I put the decoupage on the back of this picture, a very, very thin coat. I tried to use like a spray adhesive to put it down and it wouldn't stick because of the paint and all. It kept just like popping off. I must have printed this picture like 10 times and ripped it off the canvas and kept doing it. So this is the tried and true way. I put the light coat and then I stuck it down, and because I had the foam under the canvas, I was able to spread it out really nice. And because I had such a thin coat and it was on the paper, I had virtually no bubbles, and if I did have a small one, I just like rubbed over it and flattened it out, because before when it was all puddled and I would rub it, then the top of the picture would like get rubbed off and I'd have like a spot where like it didn't have the image. So after that, the next step was to let the image sit on here completely dried before I put the top coat, because how many times did I try it yesterday? I stuck it down and then immediately went to put the top coat, and again it was like the ink all bled off the paper and mixed with the decoupage and it looked gross and I had to rip it off again. So let it dry completely for like an hour or two, go do something, come back, and then when you go to put the decoupage top coat on top of it, put a very thin coat first of all. Second of all, you need to work quickly. It has to, you can't keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Once you keep doing that, it's pulling the ink off the picture, and you'll even see the ink on the brush that you're using. I just used a foam brush. So anywho, you do that, a thin coat just to kind of seal it and let that dry. Doesn't need to be totally dry, but dry enough. And then after that, put your next coat and give it a good coat. It could go thick. You know, take your time, because now the ink on the picture has been kind of sealed. So after that, it's not an issue. Next, what I did was I took a two-way glue pen. I love, love, love this jelly. It's like a jelly roll pen, you know, like a gel pen, but it's not. It has glue that comes out, and the tip is like a pen. So when you press down on this, you get like a good puddle of ink, and if you squeeze it. So what I did was I kind of just dipped the pen and then went over the lettering, and then so I used this kind of as like a pool. I didn't so much press it out on the pen because I wouldn't have any control. So I kind of just used this to dip the ink and then wrote. See how like much thinner it can go if you just dip in, and you have so much more control, but it's like a pen style. So I don't know if you could see it. I just did it real light, and I sprinkled the glitter on after I wrote with the pen, and then I had like excess that was inside like the, see, you could see some of it still there. I just used this. I think this is from EK Success, and it's like kind of like an eraser. It really takes up tacky things and stuff. I just kind of went back in and just lifted off the glitter with this. I'm not sure what this thing is called, but I just went back in and I cleaned out the O's and the A's and all along, because the glitter was kind of all over, not stuck in that area because there was no glue. It just was kind of like, you know, the static electricity was holding it on. After that, I took the glue gun and I ran this bead of rhinestone. It comes on a spool. I believe I got it at Walmart. And it's just, it has like plastic separating the rhinestones, holding it all together, which is really nice because you're not setting each individual little rhinestone. So I put my little trim on. Sorry, this is going out of focus. There we go. And then after that, I put the tulle and I kind of like ruffled it all around. I just had like a spool of tulle, and if you'll notice, the tulle has a little bit of shimmer to it. And I just kind of like stuck it and then rippled it all around to give it this like tutu kind of effect. And then just to trim off the tulle so it didn't have a raw edge, I just put this like little orange trim going around. I think it just gives it a little color too as well, and covers up the raw edge. So that's my little present to myself for my weight loss journey. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just wanted to share it with you because I thought it was super cute. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!